Despite those wins, I've been devalued.
And by the way, I think equal pay is a ridiculous concept in and of itself.
In the U.S., women on average make 82 cents to every dollar paid to white men.
I've been disrespected.
For black women, it's 63 cents. For Latinas, it's 55.
And dismissed because I am a woman.
This is not a discrimination or gender-based conversation.
There was a lot of talk this season about salaries. You probably heard it at some point, or at least you started to, and then someone used the phrase gender pay gap, and you were like, nah, 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 nah.
And I've been told that I don't deserve any more than less because I am a woman.
In short, I'm saying pay these women.
Equal pay! Equal pay! Equal pay!
You know that TRMS has been covering the team's long 6-year fight for equal pay for several years now. But that fight reached a tipping point on International Women's Day in 2019 when 28 players filed a gender discrimination and equal pay lawsuit against the U.S. Soccer Federation.
Huge news broke today for the United States women's national team.
A historic new collective bargaining agreement. Every player, man or woman, will be paid equally.
It's true. And it's a humongous win for the sport of women's soccer. Under the new contracts, which run until 2028, both the men's and women's teams will be compensated equally, including pooling the vast majority of any future World Cup prize money. The new agreement stipulates that 90% of both U.S. teams' World Cup winnings be pooled and split among the players. It's a historic deal. While some other countries have instituted equality in base salary across its men's and women's national teams, the U.S. will be the first to agree to split World Cup winnings.
I am feeling extreme pride, and to be able to say finally equal pay for equal work feels very, very good.
Until now, the U.S. men had earned much larger World Cup bonuses than the 4-time champion women, even in years when the men didn't advance out of the tournament's group stage. FIFA pays much larger sums to men's teams, citing the fact that the men's tournament generates substantially more revenue. FIFA will continue to pay out more to federations for participation in the men's tournament than the women's, but under the new CBAs, the federation will no longer pass along tournament-specific bonuses to each squad.
It's equalization of World Cup prize money, identical financial terms, including identical game payments, identical revenue sharing for both teams. So identical in every aspect on that front.
The new contracts come just 2 months after the United States Women's National Team Players Association and the United States Soccer Federation announced an agreement to resolve outstanding equal pay claims in litigation after a 6-year legal battle between the two sides. Terms of that settlement included $22 million to the named United States Women's National Team players in the case, and the United States Soccer Federation agreeing to establish a players' fund with $2 million to benefit players during their post-soccer careers and invest in charitable efforts aimed at growing the sport for women. And whereas previous labor agreements position the United States men's and women's national team as competitors for finite resources, the new agreements position the men and women as partners on a joint mission to raise soccer's profile in the U.S. and capitalize financially as they do. For the women, the CBA represents a significant departure from previous contracts. The women under the last CBA had been paid guaranteed salaries by U.S. Soccer that covered both their work for the national team and for their National Women's Soccer League clubs. U.S. Soccer will no longer cover those NWSL salaries. The new structure will be pay for play, as the men's pay has been for years. Furthermore, the list of equal working conditions is paramount. U.S. Soccer agreed to provide equal quality of venues and field playing surfaces, equal resources with respect to hotel accommodations for all U.S. senior national team matches and camps on a per-night, per-room basis. U.S. Soccer will maintain comparable budgets for the men's and women's national teams for each fiscal year for hotel accommodations for matches and camp, a world-class training environment by ensuring that senior national teams camps are fully staffed by the experienced personnel needed to provide players with training, recovery, and rehab. Equitable staffing at national team camps. An equal number of charter flights for team travel to official competitions, tournaments, and friendlies, and important protections to prevent harassment and other improper conduct. The protections include player input into how they are treated and mirror best-in-class sporting, medical, and other treatment environments around the world. They also adopt prophylactic rules to protect the privacy and dignity of senior national team players, including the ability to report anonymously and via text. In addition, all senior national team players will receive childcare during all training camps and matches for men and women. Plus, U.S. Soccer will provide a 401k plan for all women and men's players, while matching up to 5% of players' compensation, subject to IRS limits, of course. Matching amounts paid to men's and women's national team players will be deducted from each team's respective share of commercial revenue payable in each year.